While the premise of our work is to talk about the current evolution of autonomous vehicles, it may be beneficial to understand the history of the automobile. Up until 1887, transportation relied almost entirely on horse-drawn equipment. In 1890, in some U.S. cities, there were rail transit systems, which were, for the most part, also horse-powered, but by 1900, almost all of those were electric-powered. While the first gasoline engine was built in Germany in 1876, the more modern automobile did not hit its stage of development until 1890. These gasoline-powered vehicles had a fierce competition with steam-powered vehicles. The famous Model T developed by Ford hit production on October 1st, 1908. This vehicle revolutionized the automobile market. Henry Ford also introduced the popularization of the production line. With these revolutionary advancements, the Model T became the first affordable car. For the first time, car ownership became a reality for the average American worker, not just the wealthy.
Within the past century, automobiles have evolved to become faster, stronger, safer, and more economical. Today, consensus states that the next step in the evolution of cars is a fully autonomous vehicle. Several automakers have already put their research in self-driving car technology on display and expect to begin production as early as 2020. While there are numerous benefits to autonomous vehicles, likely the largest and the most obvious is the potential for safety. Today, approximately 6 million accidents in the United States happen every year. According to the ENO Center for Transportation, if the majority of cars on the road were autonomous, accidents will fall from 6 to 1.3 million. Google's driverless cars also enforce this statement, with over 2 million miles driven over the last 6 years and only 16 minor accidents recorded, none of which were the fault of Google. Along with safety, traffic and carbon emissions will also be drastically reduced. Autonomous vehicles will possess instant GPS information, creating a much smoother flow of traffic. This means cars will no longer be slow to a crawl and gridlock during rush hour. A more even flow of traffic will also help optimize efficiency in acceleration, braking, speed variation, and ultimately reduce carbon emissions. Finally, usability and productivity may also receive a boost as self-driving cars become more and more affordable. Those who normally would not be able to operate a motor vehicle, such as the elderly, the handicapped, or the disabled, will finally be able to go where they want, when they want. Those who are normally able to drive would also find more free time, allowing for potential increase in productivity. According to Morgan Stanley, if people spent all of the newly found free time working in their car instead of commuting, an annual gain of $507 billion would be possible in the US alone.
While there are many advantages to the autonomous vehicle, there are two primary concerns that must be considered as this technology progresses to the point of becoming general consumer ready. These are the security of the vehicle and the ethics of automated decision making. Firstly, beginning with security. With the entirety of the autonomous vehicle being controlled by satellite, GPS, LiDAR and radar, and other general computational devices, this causes a dramatic increase in cybersecurity vulnerabilities compared to the technology in the current modern car. A projection made by SBD Automotive is that the liability of cyber attacks in the auto industry by 2020 will be over $75 billion in America alone. Here you can see the attack surface at a glance of the modern connected car. The attack vector shown here will at least quadruple with the autonomous vehicle, and as the attack surface increases, the liability and economic impact increases with it. Lastly, looking at the ethical dilemmas presented by the autonomous vehicle, there is a famous ethical problem called the trolley problem. It describes the issue in binary-based thinking, the same decision-making process that the autonomous vehicle uses. If AV has the choice to inflict injury on its passengers or pedestrians, how will it distinguish between the value of each human life? Now, despite the aforementioned concerns, as long as they are thoroughly considered and addressed, this technology will benefit and shape the future of this world. Next, we look at how the autonomous vehicle works.
So let's start with algorithm. In algorithm, there are three essential parts in autonomous driving. The first part is sensing. It's how do you gather data about your environment. For sensing, we have different type of sensor. The main type of sensor used in today's autonomous driving is LiDAR, or laser-based radar. The LiDAR, they generate a laser beam, then they, based on the reflectance of the object, they can measure how far away the object is from you, and then based on that, they can do localization. They can localize your vehicle. Using LiDAR, you can do map generation and so on. But there's a main problem with LiDAR is that it's very expensive today. Say the Velodyne 64 beam LiDAR, it would cost $100,000. So that would add additional cost to your autonomous driving. There's one more sensor, it's radar. We use radar for mainly for obstacle avoidance. It's a reactive mechanism. Say if all the above sensors fail to recognize that there's an object in front of you, then you have this radar. They can detect, say, objects 5 to 10 meters away from you. Then this radar is hooked up directly to the control system, such that when it detects there's an object in front of you, it will drive the car away from the object autonomously.